Live for another episode of Office Hours. Office Hours. Can you hear me okay? Can everybody hear me okay? Can anyone hear me okay? This is our new feature called Office Hours, which is kind of a Q&A type of thing. And just let me know if you're here, if you can hear okay. Oh, is that better? I can lean into it a little bit. I can lean into the microphone a little bit. Jesse's here, by the way. Hello, Jesse. Can you hear okay?
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, okay. Oh, Modesty is here. Hello, Wilkie is here. Damian P is here. Welcome. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me know at any point if you can't hear or can't see or whatever the case may be, but we're here for Office Hours. This is really a new feature on the channel, just kind of a live Q&A that we do once a week, or at least we're trying to do once a week, where we're in the Hello Movie Attic, hello, where we're in the office. This is what Jesse and I usually do. We're sitting in the office and we're always having these conversations and talking about different things. And so we thought we would just do a little Q&A. I used to do a recorded Q&A where I would answer questions and print out a sheet and things like that. And we thought this is probably a better way to do it. So feel free to ask any questions. We've got a few things to talk about today. Hello, C. Willism. Hopefully happy Leap Day. Oh, that's right. Today is Leap Day, right? February the 29th.
Yeah.
We're not going to, when are we going to see another one of these? Another 4 years?
Yeah. Every 4 years.
Every 4 years, we'll be doing a live stream just like this. Modesty, you caught me bargain hunting on eBay. There's a sale on eBay. There's a sale on eBay? Oh no, there's so many sales.
Oh boy.
Can you believe that? Wow. Let me know what you're planning to pick up there on eBay. I have strong summer vibes today, which is why I have my Jaws t-shirt on, Quince, since 1975. I'm just wearing my Jaws t-shirt for some reason. And I really, because of course it's my favorite, it's my favorite movie, right?
That's right.
What should we talk about? I guess we could talk about a little bit about we had a big windstorm yesterday.
Yeah, and today too.
And today too. And we were concerned that I think we were thinking about going live yesterday, but then the wind was so strong that we did not, that we decided not to do that and go, because we usually go Thursdays anyway, right?
Yeah, well, originally it seemed like Thursday was going to be the worst day, but yesterday was the bad day.
Yesterday was really bad. So what we usually do is we get all ready. We get the flashlights ready. We get what else do we do? I don't know. We were preparing yesterday for something to happen, like we were going to lose power. I download a bunch of episodes onto my iPad, so we have stuff to watch.
Yeah.
So we were scrambling around doing that, and then probably in the afternoon, it started to get really dark and windy.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for spring. You can see already, I'm ready for spring and summer. I have my my Quince shirt on and everything, right?
Yeah. Usually the more we download onto the iPad, the less likely the power will go out.
That we're going to lose power. So we figure if we make all the preparations, mostly Retro is here. Hello. If we make preparations, usually nothing happens, but I usually put a flashlight out. I put one flashlight out. That's my signal that maybe hopefully nothing's going to happen. So I put my flashlight out, and then I downloaded some things, and then in the afternoon it really got, because it was raining and snowing, and then the wind was and then the temperature dropped also. I think we were ready for spring, and all of a sudden the temperature dropped. Hi, Mike. Mike said I had severe thunderstorm warnings and a tornado watch on Tuesday night. What the crazy weather. I think we were sort of the same. I don't usually comment too much about the wind, but the wind was really strong, enough to break branches off trees and things like that, which was pretty scary. But I was going to say something else about, the temperature drop, right? It started at like 60 degrees. We were all ready to walk and exercise and do things like that. And then the temperature dropped up 30 or 40 degrees very quickly, which is why the wind was.
Yeah, today with the wind, it feels like 10 degrees Fahrenheit.
10 degrees, which we're going to take a walk probably after this too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our storm update. And then we had a little blip of power, but then luckily the power stayed on and we didn't have to use our downloaded. We usually download some movies, and we downloaded some TV shows, some episodes of TV shows. By the way, since Mike is here, I think Mike was watching the Big Bang Theory. We're finally on season 12 of the Big Bang Theory, which we really liked, or which we're enjoying. I feel like weren't they in the last season? Weren't they getting paid like $1 million an episode or something like that?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
I think they made a deal to, which I don't know if you can tell that, but I like the finale for episode 7. Bridget, hello. Damien, here in Texas, we went from needing to turn on the AC to having the heater, turning on the heater within 24 hours. I mean, it's really insanity. I'm ready for the spring. I'm really feeling strong spring, summer vibes right now for some reason. But it's pretty crazy. So welcome everyone. This is office hours that we're doing hopefully once a week to do some kind of a Q&A. I was going to talk about this today too. I'm so excited for Dune Part 2. We might as well talk about this.
Yeah.
You made a rule, or you said we could only see Dune Part 2 if we rewatch Dune Part 1. And I have Dune Part 1 here too, which is
because
here's Dune Part 1.
We enjoyed Dune Part 1, but it's been a long time since we've seen it. So we don't want to buy tickets and then watch Dune Part 1 and be like, oh, I'm not ready for that.
I mean, it's a little over 2.5 hours. Could we handle that, do you think?
Probably.
There's the back of that one. I am excited for it. I think there was a little bit of controversy online about potentially people getting paid for reviews, which I don't think is true, because people were saying that it was great, like the best movie they've ever seen. But I feel like that's an honest, at least the people that I follow, I feel like that was an honest assessment probably from them. I don't think anybody's necessarily getting paid for reviews. Maybe some people are, but I don't think it's, Bridget is watching Dune Part 2 on Saturday. I think we might go tomorrow. If we follow the rules and
I mean, everybody's reviews of Godzilla -1 paid off for us, so.
Yeah, I know.
They all said that was really good, and then we went to the theater and it was good. So there's no reason to not believe them.
Armada was not paid and said it was really good. So I think we have to go with that. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like how could it not be good? It's going to be good. Maybe not as, people like to overhype movies and things like that. I get that. But Mike said I would recommend The Big Bang Theory by Jessica Radloff, the book. So, and that's already on my list, Mike, too. I'm really, I really love The Big Bang Theory. It's so great. It's so great to see those characters together. I think there were a few episodes maybe that were a little bit weaker, don't you think, in season 11? But then season 12 kind of picked up again.
Yeah,
especially the end of season 11.
Season 11 was a little like they weren't really sure what to do. Like they just kept making certain characters argue in every episode, and it was like, okay, but it didn't feel that believable. But season 12 seems better.
Yeah, I feel like some shows, when they get to the later seasons, right, they just combine characters together that haven't been together and they just argue, right? Isn't that something that happens?
They either put new characters together that haven't been together, and then it's like, oh, okay, they're just forcing characters together to make things happen.
Just to do it, right? Just to force,
yeah. Or they just have established characters that usually get along, and then they just make them fight.
And they make them, yeah, exactly, yeah. But I feel like season 12 is good, and maybe it's the $1 million an episode. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like over $1 million.
Over $1 million an episode. I feel like they negotiated as a group, though, to get that for the last season, because they're probably like, we don't want to do a last season, but we'll do one if you pay us a lot of money, right? Usually is what happens.
I mean, I don't know, because season 11 didn't end in a way that would have had a natural ending if... No, it did. I guess it did.
Yeah, that would have had a natural ending, right? Season 11.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Damien said, I'd like to see Dune 2 for the sound design. I think that's the exciting thing, too. If you're seeing it in IMAX and the sound design, that's something I can't replicate at home either, even though we watched the first Dune film at home, I think, because this was during the pandemic, right? Wasn't it? Or was it right after?
It was.
Or something? I can't remember now.
It was one of those direct home box office kind of things. It was on Peacock or HBO or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we saw it at home.
Yeah, and it was a movie I wasn't prepared to. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not, and we stayed awake for the whole thing. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think we watched it from beginning to end without stopping. I don't think we took a break at all. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But we might have to. Well, we can't take a break tomorrow if we go, but we might go to see an early show maybe tomorrow if we Again, I know if we have to rewatch the other one, so we'll
Yeah,
have
but there's
maybe
early
5 hours
There's
of
early
Dune.
shows today. You literally could. We
I-
could watch.
We could go
Dune
today.
1 and then go see. Dune
It's too
2.
cold today to go. I feel like
Says the guy who wants to take a walk.
I want to take a walk after this. But Dune, yeah, I'm really excited for Dune. And there's probably going to be a part 3, right? Isn't there going to be part 3 and 4 and 7? Lots of different parts. We should say too, we're also working on this. We talked about this last week, but we're working on the Star Wars films, and we're watching The Empire Strikes Back, which I think you and I agree on this, and probably a lot of people agree on it. But Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie, at least my opinion anyway. It's the best Star Wars movie. Already, we can see that it's the best one.
Yeah, I think.
Wouldn't
so.
you say?
Yeah, because it has all the things.
Yeah. Oh, I see Jesse comment. Oh, you're here, but you
Yeah.
commented.
That's right.
But anyway, Empire Strikes Back, really great. We were watching episode 4, A New Hope, or Star Wars, as they call it
Yeah.
commonly. And then we're watching Empire Strikes Back. But Empire Strikes Back has it all, right? It's got the humor, the characters are developed.
That's what
I think
mean,
a lot
like,
of times,
it has all the things. It's like
yeah,
it's like Back to the Future 2, where like it has the forwards and backwards, and it has the snow and the people you want and the droids and the villain.
Empire,
and
100%.
It has all the things.
Yes. Empire, 100%, of course. That completely makes sense. I feel like, and maybe this is true for Dune also, right? The characters, the world has been established, so maybe we're going to enjoy it more because we already know this a little bit of the story already, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's true also for Dune
Plus,
Part
Dune
2.
is like Star Wars in that there's like 6 to 8 parts, so like the story really progresses.
Are they really going to do that many movies though? I don't know.
They'll probably do at least 4.
The second and third books are smaller than the first book. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for it, but again, Empire Strikes Back. I mean,
I've heard
that's
that
just
the
really
book is easier to read than you think.
yeah.
Yeah.
You have the book, right?
Yeah, I just haven't read it yet.
You don't
'Cause
have
I think
the first
after we
book.
saw the first movie, we picked up the first book because they have really nice covers.
This is good to know. Thanks, Armada, for this too. The making the Dune Messiah and Children of Dune movies will be their own movies. Which, again, if these movies do great, then of course there'll be a lot of extra ones. I think I was just excited to see a new world being developed in the cinema. I think that was a
like
fun
they
part.
won't be like Dune Part 5. They'll have their own titles, I think, but like the series continues with like 6 books. So
Yeah.
I think there's room for them.
There's
to do,
room
like,
for more, yeah.
multiple
Yeah.
In the world of Dune stories, yeah.
Putting out a Blu-ray of Hardware Wars, which I haven't heard. Haven't heard of. But as we go through this too, feel free. Thanks so much for joining us today. Feel free to ask questions, or if there's anything that you want to share, any other news you want to share, go for it. We'll certainly comment on that too. So anyway, those are our plans. The other thing is we started to rewatch The Walking Dead. See, I got a little thumbs up. I did a little thumbs up. That's what happens on my camera. If I do a little thumbs up, this happens all the time. So you get a little. That's what my camera does now, apparently. I love the movie Shortcuts. Robert Altman, Shortcuts. I love that. I was talking about it a little bit. Of course, the Criterion sale happened. The flash sale happened this week, and I ordered a few things right after noon. Let me know if you ordered anything from the Criterion flash sale. But I love those flash sales that Criterion does. I had a couple of coupons. They usually send one out if you subscribe to the Criterion channel, they send you a coupon, and then I had another coupon. So I think I had like $20 off that I could spend. And I did order a Kurosawa movie, and so I thought I'd show this because I've been really sort of in the mood for Kurosawa lately. And I think this is a great little set to get if you don't have this already. These are Blu-rays, but this is the Yojimbo Sanjuro set, the samurai films from Kurosawa. And I just ordered Rashomon because I didn't have Rashomon. I was hoping for a Kurosawa box set, which I was hoping Criterion would put out at some point, but they haven't done that. So I've just been buying these individual releases. But this is a great one. These are Blu-rays, but I'll just show the back of that too. So I've been really in the mood for samurai films. I know you're really excited to hear about that because you have to watch these. You have to have these on. I know.
You're not usually into samurai.
I'm not usually into samurai films, but of course, Seven Samurai is a classic, but then I love these two films too. There are 20 Dune books combined with 6 Frank Herbert's books, and then his son took over and made more. This is such great information. Thanks for sharing this too, by the way. Such great information. I heard Shogun on Hulu is really good. That's that new series that's coming out too. So maybe my timing is perfect on that.
Usually, yeah.
I could watch that. Damon said the missus and I have been watching Dallas for the first time. I finally know who shot JR, right? There was that big cliffhanger on Dallas, right? Where they didn't know.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah. Well, The Walking Dead does that, right? Like they because it's from, what is it, like 2010, 2012, something like that. Like television did that. They would leave you waiting like 3 months.
Before you could see what happened. Yeah. But now you don't have to worry because you can just keep watching whatever's on. There's no cliffhangers, right?
Right.
Mike said I was tempted to order some Criterions, but ended up passing this time. I usually pass too, but I figured there were a few things I wanted. I just ordered a few things, but Rashomon was one I didn't have, so I needed to get that. The first 2 episodes of Shogun are on Hulu, so maybe I have to watch that too. This is really going to get me into a whole thing.
Is that why you had 2 coupons, because you skipped the last flash sale?
I don't think it's because I skipped the last flash sale. I think it's because they also sent out other coupons that are not related to a sale sometimes.
It was like a holiday.
It was a holiday, yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, it was a holiday thing, yeah. Armada said there's going to be a Dune show on Max later this year. It takes place 1,000 years prior to. Wow, we're really going to be into all this, right?
Oh, so they're going to do like Game of Thrones did, where they have like the prequel with all the dragons.
Yeah.
What is that? House of Dragons.
House of Dragons. Yeah.
So that's cool.
That is cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Dune Prophecy, that's what it's called. Dune Prophecy.
That's fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. So much to watch and see and learn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I've started to what should I talk about later? Everybody was talking about this, and I thought I would bring it today. Everybody was talking about this edition of 28 Days Later that went out of print. Andre, hello, welcome. This is again our Q&A. So any questions that you want to ask or any news you want to share. But I think I got this quite a while ago. Sometimes when something goes out of print, I check my collection to see what I have. But I do have this version of 28 Days Later, which has this card on the front. But you can see it's got the cover that everyone's talking about there, the Danny Boyle film of 28 Days Later. And this thing went out of print.
Yeah, that's from Target, I think.
Oh, this is from Target. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another great zombie movie. We've started to watch The Walking Dead, which we'll talk about. And there's the back of that one too. So sometimes you get lucky and you pick up these things at a random time and then they go out of print. So it's nice. This is why it's great to have a physical media collection, I think anyway, especially with everything that's happening on streaming services. I'm so happy I have this movie. And of course, we regularly watch zombie type movies, and we started watching The Walking Dead. I only pulled season 9 because it's the only one we have on physical media, but there's The Walking Dead. And we started watching this again, which we'd seen before. We saw maybe 7 seasons of The Walking Dead, so we never finished the series, right?
No, I think I think I looked at it today. We finished maybe season 7. No, we started season 7 and then maybe we made it to season 8, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But we've never watched them like on demand. We've only ever really watched them like in week-to-week installments. So that's why watching it now, because we have all the digitals, like is nice because we don't have to wait. There's no commercials. There's no fast forwarding. Yeah.
I mean, the thing to watch too, at least what we've been watching, is on Vudu. They do these deals, and we did this with Better Call Saul. They had a deal that was only like for The Walking Dead, the whole series, 11 seasons for $50. And since I didn't have a lot of the seasons, and we've been going to Big Lots trying to find the other seasons, we thought we should get it. It's all in HDX. It looks really great.
I think another thing for the digitals, because it's tricky to like choose to buy digital copies or not, but I think we figured out like if you do the math for how many months you'd have to subscribe to a streaming service, it's cheaper to just buy the digitals.
It's cheaper to do that, yeah. The only thing I was thinking at some point is Vudu and some of these other services may start to charge for maintaining your digital library, which would think might happen at some point. I hope it doesn't happen because people have paid so much for these shows and TV shows and movies and things like that. But we're loving it though. We're on season 2 now. We made it very quickly through season 1.
Yeah.
And what did you think? I mean, what do you think about The Walking Dead? Now, this is I think probably our 3rd time through it, at least for season 1.
Yeah, but I don't think we watched season 1 from beginning to end since it was on, really.
Yeah.
Because you watched it and then you showed it to me and we watched it together. But then after that, I don't think we really went back and watched it again. I think season 1's really great. I think season 2 is like, wow, like everybody was talking about season 1, and so they really started with a strong season 2 opener, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of surprises. I think also the character of Rick, if you've seen The Walking Dead, I mean, he really seems to try to redeem himself quite a bit in the show, right? Because he feels like he's been saved a couple of times by people, and he's trying to sort of repay the debt back. It seems like that's what it seems like to me, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot. I mean, there isn't too much talk yet, but there's like this idea of like blood on your hands, which is kind of like a Survivor concept, right? Like sort of the show Survivor talks about it too, where like you did something for me, I need to do something for you, or like I got you out of trouble, or it would have like if something would have gone bad, it would have been on me. So I've got to try and make sure that things don't happen badly to people, or else that's my debt.
That's what you're gonna have, yeah. But especially, I love the whole interaction with Morgan and just the way they develop the characters, and also I think the thing we've been learning from The Walking Dead too is the simple pleasures, right? Taking a shower, finding food, it's a whole thing. It's really sort of highlights all of that stuff too. There's a couple places where, they go back to the police station in season 1, they can take showers for the first time. And it's such an exciting, such a great thing to be able to do.
I also think Rick feels like he carries like the burden of the fact that he like luckily survived the hard part, like in the beginning, because he was in a hospital, so he like missed all of like the struggle of like what's happening and who's getting sick and how do you survive. And so I think that kind of plays into his motive a little bit, because he's like, I missed out when everybody else was like surviving everything. I just happened to survive somehow. Right. And so now he's like has this energy of like he's a leader, but then it's kind of getting him into trouble.
Yeah, we're really liking it. Modesty, what did you pick up? It said you mentioned I picked up 8 Blu-rays for £13 for 8 movies. That's great. I haven't seen City of Hope, Armada, but I just ordered Lone Star, which is a John Sayles movie. So that's one of the movies I ordered on the Criterion sale. There's a 4K for that. I have been ordering a couple of 4Ks from Criterion too, because it comes with a Blu-ray of the movie, so you can get the Blu-ray plus the extra features. So if you don't want to play your 4K or for whatever reason, you've got a Blu-ray there too. I don't know. I'm so excited to watch that every day. It's one of the things too, when you have something on streaming or you have the physical media, you can watch as many episodes as you want.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, that's really good. And so we've been watching like 1.5 episodes, or at least 1 episode a day. Yeah,
we try to watch at least 1, and then we've made it a rule where if we start an episode, we have to get at least halfway through, because sometimes, like when we were watching Game of Thrones, we would watch like the first 3 minutes and then we would turn it off, and then we're like, what is happening? Like we missed the beginning. So we have to really get into it. And then a lot of times we say, we'll just watch half of this one, and then we end up watching like
the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, there are some great cliffhangers in the episodes too, right? So which is nice.
Yeah, and then I'm reading the graphic novels like in tandem to see like how they line up.
You're reading the novels, but you don't want to get spoiled, right? So, because I know last night you said you might have gotten a little spoiled, so then we try not to.
Yeah, because the graphic novels, like you can definitely tell how they're connected, but then some like you don't know what's coming up, so you don't know like if they've chosen to take like the end of the first volume, something happens, and you don't know when that's going to, like, I know it's going to be in the show, but it didn't happen in direct line with what's happening in the show.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, I got spoiled, but I knew what was going to happen because I've already seen the show once.
Do we have 11? Do we have 11 Walking Dead, the actual? I know you're reading the digital copies, but I thought we had 11.
I think we have like.
We don't have the compendium.
13 volumes of the graphic novel series, but there are 32 volumes.
Yeah, so we don't have nearly as many as they have, right?
Yeah.
Modesty said, my Lone Star arrived, planned for the weekend. Chris Cooper is underrated. I totally agree. I love Chris Cooper. Armada also said Lone Star is very good. I'm looking forward to that. It's one of the ones that was at the top of my list. I was going to order the Chantal Ackerman set, but I'm going to wait, I think, until the summertime for the Barnes & Noble sale. Hopefully the Barnes & Noble sale. By the way, new Barnes & Noble next week is opening.
Yeah.
And we're going to maybe go to the opening of that. We're thinking about it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see what's happening with Barnes & Noble. I feel like there's many things happening right now with streaming services, but also with physical media. I love to see that Barnes & Noble is opening up new stores. So we're really excited to see what they have there for books. They have some author events there, which looks, great.
A lot of author events.
A lot of author events coming up. And so we might go to those. It's closer for us. Hopefully they're going to have some criterions there. So it'll be interesting to check that out. But we're really excited.
Yeah. They have a really great location in the mall too, because they're right outside of like the main sit down dining section. So a lot of people will probably just pop in real quick.
Yeah.
And then it's right there.
Yeah. So I'm excited to go see that. Plus it's right near the movie theaters. If we want to go see another movie, or if we don't get through Dune, we can go see Dune and then see the Barnes & Noble opening.
Yeah.
But, Walking Dead. So, but we don't have the other series. Maybe we'll go back to Big Lots too and find, maybe there'll be other physical copies. I'd like to still have all physical copies of The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But for now, the digital's, completely fine. So
yeah,
I keep doing that. I keep giving the thumbs up on the screen, but it's fine.
But you do bring up a good point. I probably should pick up the physical volumes since we have them in our collection anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's really convenient to have them on my iPad, but at the same time, they're literally in our collection. So I probably should read them.
And yesterday we were downloading episodes of The Walking Dead before the windstorm. Mike, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone for joining us too. Hopefully this helped your lunchtime a little bit, but enjoy the rest of your day as well. What else were we going to talk about today? I was going to talk about this. This is the 50th anniversary of the novel Jaws being released. And I started reading it. I'm sure I've read this. I'm sure I read this back when it came out. And of course saw the movie many times. But I'm really enjoying this. It's a bestseller. How can you not enjoy it? It's a bestseller. So well written.
That's right.
And I love I'm doing a lot of reading these days, but this is my favorite format is a 5x8. These 5x8s, right? This is a 5x8, I think, right?
Yeah, like a 5x8 paperback. Yeah.
But I'm just noticing there's 3 parts, and through the first part, of course, I know what happens in the movie anyway. But in the book, I'm finding it so interesting to just notice, since I've seen the movie so many times, the differences in the book. I know you've read the book too.
Yeah, a while ago.
But there are some differences. The character of Brody is very complex, and he's really put in a tight spot. If you've seen the movie Jaws, he's really put in a tight spot of protecting the community and also pleasing the politicians around him who are concerned about real estate.
Yeah.
The character of Ellen Brody also is, came from a different kind of a family, but now she's married to Chief Brody, Martin Brody. Matt Hooper doesn't show up. The oceanographer doesn't show up until later in the book.
Yeah.
In fact, he's just shown up here at the end of part 1. Which I found was interesting. They talk with him on the phone, right, as the shark is making the rounds. There's a whole scene with Mrs. Kintner because her son gets killed by the shark. That happens.
More people get killed in the book.
There's more people in the beginning, get killed by the shark. There's another person, a 65-year-old man, that gets killed. There's a whole scene where they're looking at, again, hopefully I'm not spoiling Jaws. This is 50 years old, so hopefully I'm not spoiling too much here. But there's a scene where in the movie, Hooper and Brody go to look at this other fisherman, Gardner, Ben Gardner's boat. Yeah, Ben Gardner's boat. And in the movie, they do that later. In this one, they see his boat from the shore, and they think something's wrong, and they go out and they actually find the shark's tooth in the boat. They have to lean over, the 2 policemen, Brody and Hendricks. I think Hendricks has to lean over the boat and get the shark's tooth out of the boat.
Yeah.
but they don't lose it, right? Because in the movie, Hooper loses the shark tooth because
Right.
he's gone down to the. So that happened, and then there's also sort of a interesting relationship between. I know what happens later in the book, but there's an interesting relationship between Martin Brody and his wife Ellen.
Yeah, she's
because
like a bigger character in the book, right?
she's a bigger character in the book, yeah. But there's Brody's in a tough spot. I mean, it's a tough character to play, which of course Roy Scheider plays in the movie. But he's really put in a tough spot because he has to protect people in the community, but then he has to also talk to the mayor and talk to the newspaperman. And in the beginning, the person from the newspaper is the one that's most concerned. They don't want the news story to get out about the shark because it's coming up on the 4th of July. They don't want to affect the summer visitors. They don't want to impact the real estate. So there's a lot more. Like I said, I'm really enjoying reading the book and trying to, since I've seen the movie so many times, really looking at the differences between the movie and the book.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to see. I haven't seen Matawan, but I heard it's really good. That's cool that you have one of your teachers in middle school is an extra in the movie. John Sayles, yeah. I think once I see Lone Star, I'll probably end up picking up that movie as well. Yeah, I'm going to watch, I think I will probably watch Shogun probably. This is going to start me on a whole other thing, right?
Yeah.
Outside of Columbo, I know. Oh, we have to talk about a little bit about Columbo today too, by the way. So if you're here for Columbo, there's a new show. I have to look at my notes for this, but there's a new show, I think on CBS called Elsbeth. And we just saw the interview with Stephen Colbert about this show called Elsbeth. And it's really a female Columbo. Even in the interview, they mentioned Columbo. I was so excited about that.
Yeah. Because it's like a spin-off, right? It's like a spin-off of The
Good Wife. And The Good Fight was a good fight.
That's
right?
the spin-off of The Good Wife
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah.
So she's a character in both of those shows, like a secondary character,
Mhm.
and then she's getting her own show as the character,
Yeah.
Elsbeth.
Right.
But she's doing a different job.
She's doing a different job, right? She said she's sort of she's investigating the police, I think, or something like that. She goes to make sure there's not too many lawsuits or something like that, and then she gets involved in a murder right off the bat. But she said the show follows the same type of format where you know the crime in the beginning, and it's just a matter of watching the character figure it out. And she said something interesting too, that Columbo as a character and also this character is underestimated, meaning that you think that they really don't know what's going on. You think, especially with Columbo, you really feel like Columbo doesn't know what's going on, but he knows exactly what's going on, and that's kind of his skill, his superpower, which is the way she described it. Because he's so he's not really intimidating in the beginning. He's more curious, which is one of the reasons I love Columbo as a character also. And so I'm really excited about this show.
Yeah.
Are we going to get Paramount Plus for this? I don't even know.
I don't know. Well, he's also kind of quiet. Like there's some characters, like compared to like Sherlock Holmes, he's very like forward and
he's like
almost like full of himself. Like he knows what's going on and no one else is as smart as he is. But Columbo doesn't have that energy.
He's very unassuming, and he's also very curious, right? He's very curious as a character.
Looks around and he asks like questions where people are like, "Why do you need to know that?" And then it turns out that like it's very important, and they just overlooked it. Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that show. I'm just excited to hear someone talking about Columbo because we were interested in Mark Ruffalo playing Columbo at some point, which we were looking at his Instagram recently to see.
But I kind of like that idea that like Elsbeth is like. Not like she's like Lady Columbo, but like she's a similar character. Like you don't have to just like, sometimes they want to like just restart something and change like one thing about it. And like this will be interesting because it's like it's the same, but it's different. So maybe it'll have the essence that you want instead of just like a copy. Yeah, even in I think she mentioned this also, but even in the show Columbo, Columbo comes into a scene and he's so curious that he even gets distracted by paintings on the wall, or he looks at someone's tie or someone's shoes, and he says, "Where'd you get those shoes?" Right. He's very interested in people, which I really like as well. And I think it's a great characteristic to have in a detective because you have to be very curious, right? I think even in a lot of the episodes, like there's an episode with a magician or there's an episode with a musician, he has to learn that world. He really has to be curious about that world in order to really understand
you know, um, what's involved, or like there's a couple of scenes where, or there's a couple of shows where he's on a movie set or he's at a studio lot, and he walks on the, he walks into the scene, sometimes, during a take.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they're like, what are you doing in there? Why are you in there? And I think he's just curious, and he doesn't even realize he's in the scene, that the cameras are rolling.
Because somebody's like, "Oh, go over there," and he's like, he just goes over
Yeah.
there, and then like he doesn't realize that he's walking on the set because he's just doing what they told him to.
Yeah, exactly. Modesty said, I love the format of Columbo. I completely agree with this. We know what happened and who did it. It's fascinating to watch Columbo slowly unpick what happened. And also the tango that he does with the guest stars many times. It's so great to see. I mean, I love watching. I've mentioned this before, but with when he's working with Patrick McGowan, but any of the guest stars when he's working with them, Dick Van Dyke or any of the Lee Grant that we mentioned before. It's so great to see him doing this kind of tango with the character and kind of really being, asking all these questions all the time, coming over to people's houses at all hours of the night to talk to them. You kind of wonder, could a detective even do that? But clearly he just does that. He doesn't really have he doesn't worry about, following the rules. He just goes over because he's so curious, right? He has to solve the crime,
Yeah. Well, and it's fun because whenever he shows up in his car, it's like all the other police officers know who he is. Like when he shows up, they're like, "Oh, you're Columbo. All right, come on over here." So he's like notorious. Like all the other cops are talking about him. And then it like works in his favor. Like, he doesn't even have a light on his car.
He doesn't even. Yeah, his car is messed up. Yeah,
he doesn't wear a uniform. Like he just is who he is, and he shows up. And all the detectives are always like, "Oh yeah, right this way." They're never like, "Who are you? What's going on?"
He's just always around. I mean, it's very comical to see too. Movie Addict said, we were just talking about this, right? I love the Naked Gun series, but it's kind of interesting to think Liam Neeson was going to be in the Naked Gun reboot. You've seen some of those, right? Because we like Police Squad. I put on Police Squad a bunch of times, and
yeah, I'm trying to figure out like which is he going to be, like the straight man in those?
I think he's going to play the Leslie Nielsen character.
So he's going to be like
he's going to be the guy. I'm not really sure,
kind
but
of like oblivious, isn't he? Like
yeah,
like a lot of stuff goes over his head. Like he takes things too literally.
Yeah,
I mean, funny. Is that what happens?
Yeah, I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a great pick. I think. I don't know. It's gonna be fun to see that. But I love those.
Or is there like a? I mean, is there like a lady sidekick in that?
I'm not going to remember this, but in the movie, Lisa Marie Presley, I think, is in those, or Priscilla Presley. I'm not sure. One of the.
Now that I think about it, if he's like the main lead man, he might be very like grumpy, so he could be like the grumpy sunshine angle.
He could be, yeah.
Because like there's more of like these romance rom-com vibes coming out in places. So like, not saying that it would be like a rom-com, but like if there's like a lady detective balancing his like obliviousness, then like it could be.
I'm so excited for that though. I'm glad Movie Addict. I'm glad you mentioned that because we were just talking about it too. I'm going to go back in the comments a little bit too. Shogun was a miniseries back in the day. Yes, very true. I haven't seen the original series, but the new one is awesome. So I guess I'm going to have to watch that. Stallone wants Ryan Gosling as Rambo. That's interesting. I hadn't heard that. That's interesting news. The show looks incredible visually compared to a lot of streaming shows. It blows Disney and Netflix visuals out of the water. That's interesting to know. I have to watch that series now. Barnes & Noble is the best. Armada said Barnes & Noble is the best. Also been getting into vinyl a lot recently. They got a lot of goodies there too. Let me know too in the chat too if you want to see me talk about some vinyl at some point on the channel. I have a small vinyl collection. I've got a lot of CDs also, which I might be talking about at some point, but let me know if that would be something that you'd be interested in. Or if you're watching this on replay too, let me know in the comments. What were we talking about? Columbo, of course.
You missed a comment.
Oh, did I miss one? Which one did I miss?
In the Heat of the Night.
In the Heat of the Night. Oh, wow. What a great movie that is too. Yeah. Sidney Poitier, Rod Steiger, what a classic performance. And that's another one that I just love. I know I think there's a 4K out on there, out on that as well, but I have the Criterion release of that.
Yeah.
Armada said, I'm waiting for another season of The Tulsa King with Stallone and The Old Man with Jeff Bridges. We started watching The Old Man, and we liked it, but we never finished it.
I think
We didn't finish it,
I
but-
wanted more Old Man.
Yeah, it started to veer off into other stories, I thought.
No,
but
because it
maybe
was
I'm
like
wrong.
it was told in like a series of flashbacks about like his life before he was the old man.
Yeah.
But the old man part was the part I liked.
Yeah. Maybe we should revisit that, though. I don't know. I mean, we have to give that another
Yeah.
shot. But so anyway, I'm excited for that new show on CBS, Elsbeth.
Yes.
And we might have to get Paramount Plus for that. I don't know, or maybe we can wait for it. I don't,
Well,
We have
we can see how many episodes it gets, and then we can just get Paramount Plus like when the first season is over.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, because does TV follow the standard like October, May release schedule now? Because there's like that new season of Survivor just came out, and like Elsbeth is coming out. So like, are they doing like, is Elsbeth going to go from like February to May, and then that's it for the season?
No,
and
maybe,
come back
yeah.
on?
Maybe it's a
'Cause
shorter.
I feel like
yeah,
since 2020, everything got kind of jumbled up.
yeah. I just think it's cool that a show like that's coming out, and I love the character as I mentioned. A couple more things about Jaws, and again, I'm excited to continue reading this book. I just like the way the book flows, and it really covers a lot of the new things that I hadn't really noticed before, or at least the character development is obviously more in the book than it is in the movie, right? Because you have to get right to it. This one you have more time to really explore Brody's motivations and the relationship with the mayor and with Ellen and all these other things, right?
Well, yeah,
But
that's why I
really
like
enjoy
reading, because it's nice to see like what people think. Whereas in the movies and in the shows, they have to show that physically with
Yeah.
their dialogue and with their physical actions. Whereas in a book, you can read their thoughts and how they feel, and you can't see
Yeah.
that always.
I don't think I think also too, everybody likes to compare books and movies, but they're really different. I mean, you really get a different, sense of, a movie is intended to do something different. I feel like, so one is not better than
Yeah.
the other, right? The
Well, I mean,
book
yeah,
is a different
it's tough.
experience.
Like the adaptation of Red, White, and Royal Blue happened on Amazon Prime, and I read the book and I really enjoyed the book. But my problem is that my favorite characters and parts of my favorite characters in the book aren't in the movie.
Yeah,
So I can't I have to give myself some distance because I don't want to watch the movie. Like I'm going to be disappointed because the characters I liked aren't there, so I can't expect them to be there. So
Sure.
I adjust my expectations.
yeah.
So if you read Jaws and then you watch the film, you might be disappointed.
Like
because,
Hooper wasn't in the
Ellen
movie.
Brody is
Yeah.
your favorite character, and she's
she's
barely
not in the movie, yeah.
So you have to adjust accordingly.
I feel like the book also focuses a lot more on Ellen, but she's really not. She's in the movie, of course.
Yeah, she is, but she's not
but it's not like a central part of it. It's really more about the other characters.
Yeah, like in the movie, she's just his wife.
Yeah,
pretty much.
and Quint is known in the beginning, but he's not really focused on. So the first third of the book, they don't really talk about Quint that much at all.
Yeah.
Because of course they need him near the end, but
Yeah.
They've been releasing new vinyl remasters of Pearl Jam. I like Pearl Jam too. Walmart has some good goodies there too. The movie addict said we watched really like The Last Airbender on Netflix. It was 8 episodes. That's cool. We haven't had Netflix in a while, right? We canceled our Netflix probably over a year ago, wouldn't you say?
I think so.
So right now we have Amazon Prime, we have the Criterion Channel, we have Vudu's not really. Vudu became Fandango at home. I love also, we were talking about these new services, Pluto TV. Well, not new services, but they've been around for a while, but they're free.
Yeah, we started watching them more, I guess, is why.
Pluto,
they're new.
yeah, Pluto TV and Tubi, which Tubi just did a kind of a rebranding of their the colors and everything for their
Yeah, like
for
all
their
the
app.
free services are yellow now for some reason.
Yeah, and it's great to watch those. Sometimes you see I started watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, I think on Pluto TV, and it's just on.
Yeah.
So you're not watching from the beginning or anything, but it's sort of like maybe we talked about this a little bit on the channel, but there's shows that can kind of scratch the itch. Like I was really wanting to see Next Generation, Star Trek: The Next Generation, and we don't have any of the shows. We don't have Paramount Plus.
Right.
But it was nice to watch a couple episodes. Now I feel like I don't have to buy it right away.
Right.
Or we don't have to
Yeah.
get Paramount Plus right away for Star Trek, right? Because I can
Yeah.
watch it on Pluto TV. So I think a lot of the free services are going to become more popular now too, as other streaming services raise their prices. You'll be able to see other shows. You're still going to watch ads, but that can happen also with with Amazon Prime, right? We have to watch ads on Prime now because we're not paying for the extra to remove the ads, right?
Right. Yeah.
So if you're going to watch ads, you might as well watch something for free. I did not check out Reacher yet, but I will check it out. I haven't had a chance to check that out. I'm glad, Clamp 20. I'm glad. It seems in recent interviews that the director of -1 is warming up the idea of doing a sequel. I would love to see that. Godzilla -1, possibly with some monsters with a serious tone. But I read a thing. I don't know how true this is. Maybe someone in the chat can clarify. But I saw a post, I think it was on Facebook or X, about Godzilla -1 maybe getting a Criterion release. Don't know if that's true or not, but that would be great news if Godzilla -1 gets a Criterion release. That would be awesome. I would, that's exciting. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies of last year, Godzilla -1. We really love that movie.
Yeah,
Very
I really
emotional.
liked
It was an
yeah.
emotional movie, but it seemed to have all the things. I really liked it a lot. What were we talking about?
Oh, because the black and white version is being released.
The black and white version. Yeah, the black and white version, right?
Yeah.
But it would be great to see a Criterion release. Sophie, hello. Sophie's here. This is kind of a new feature on the channel for Q&A,
Yeah.
a weekly kind of Q&A. Because as I've said before, I used to do a recorded video for that, but we thought we would do that live. So this would be great if it gets an Oscar. I would love to see it get an Oscar. That would be great. Punkron said, we're watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's really good. So creative team from Atlanta. So it's quirky and very different from the movie. That's cool. That's another series that did we start watching that? Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yeah,
we watched a little bit of it,
few
right?
minutes of it, and then we weren't really in the mood for it.
Yeah.
But we didn't see Atlanta either.
Yeah. That's true. We didn't see Atlanta. There's so many great shows,
That's
though.
on Hulu, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah. I think Atlanta's on Hulu too, but I could be wrong. Oh, because it's an FX show.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Mr. and Mrs. Smith is a Amazon show.
Is an Amazon show, right? Right. There's so many great shows to watch, and there's a lot of choices out there for sure, right?
I know.
We usually are on for about an hour or two, but if there's more questions, we can go for more than an hour. But we've got about 10 minutes. So any other questions, or if anybody has news or want to share anything, feel free to do that in the chat. What else was I going to show today? There's this other set too that I was interested in. Every once in a while I get into Kozlowski, and so I thought I'd show this. There are 4Ks, I think, of these, but this is the Three Colors trilogy, which is another. I know the flash sale is over now, but if you ever get a chance to get one of the box sets, this is a smaller box set to get, and I highly recommend it. It's great. These are all Blu-rays from the Criterion Collection, and I love this set. I haven't upgraded anything, or I haven't gotten the other releases of this, but just another great recommendation for whenever the next sale would be. Sophie said, I finally rewatched Misery, which is great, which is a perfect winter movie to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
And a scary movie to watch too, with Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates, who, by the way, is in The Big Bang Theory. So you see,
she's scary in that.
and she's scary in that too, right? She's scary. Yeah, exactly, right. I didn't, this is great news too. Thanks for mentioning this. John Waters is going to make another movie, which is really exciting. Aubrey Plaza is going to be in the movie. I forgot to mention that to you. John Waters making another film after so many years. So that's interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah. She was really great. What was that one movie we watched?
There was a Netflix movie she was in that was really good.
That's really good.
I can't remember it. You can probably check it out.
Name is something. I don't know. I'll have to look it up now.
Name is, I don't know, but McCabe and Mrs. Miller, what a great show. Oh, yes. The Roaring Twenties on 4K and Mean Streets. Did you get the 4K?
Oh, and she's in The White Lotus, too.
Sophie said, could do a double weekend with The Shining and Misery. Could be the same mountain. That's very true. The Shining. We haven't seen The Shining in a long time. Remember we started to watch The Shining, right? A couple of years ago. What was the name of the movie?
Emily the Criminal.
Emily the Criminal was really good
also
on
in The White
Netflix.
Lotus, which is really good.
The question is, Punkron said, I got the 4Ks. Yeah, the 4Ks seem to be more affordable. I don't know. Maybe they always were affordable, but I just never noticed. But they're a few dollars more than the Blu-ray. And you get a Blu-ray also with it. So are we going to see Dune Part 2? That's the big question. Everyone wants to know. Are we? I don't know that everyone wants to know, but some people want to know if we're
I
going
mean,
to
I
see
think
Dune.
the answer is probably.
Probably.
Will we see it in the next 3 days? I don't know, but I think we will see it because even if we go next week, like Monday or Tuesday, it's still like new.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want to go before it's put into a smaller theater.
But then we're going to see it in IMAX, right? Are we going to see it in
no,
IMAX?
I didn't think we were going to see it in IMAX.
We're not going to see it in IMAX?
No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think we were.
I mean, isn't there an IMAX theater there where we would go?
No. I don't know. We haven't seen an IMAX movie since. I don't think we've ever seen an IMAX movie.
Wait, didn't we see Gravity? Gravity was IMAX, or was it 3D?
No.
I think we got a headache from that. I think we had a headache.
Can't do 3D movies.
Yeah.
No,
I think we
IMAX
got a
is
headache.
like when the screen is like huge, like floor to ceiling huge. I don't think we've ever seen an IMAX movie together.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think they have IMAX in that theater.
Maybe I was thinking it was 3D. Maybe I was thinking it was 3D.
Well, I don't think we're doing that either.
No, because the last time we went to one of those movies with the sound and everything, we got a headache. We got a really
yeah.
big headache. Yeah. Modesty said Mean Streets is amazing on, but it's on Second Sight. The 4K is expensive, but a lovely limited box. I have the Blu-ray. I got the Blu-ray for Mean Streets, which is also very cool. So any final questions, let us know. We're hopefully going to be doing this once a week, usually at this time. And we're calling it office hours just because we're in the office talking as we normally do about all sorts of things. And so we thought we would share that with you. And you can always watch this on replay too. If you're watching this on replay, leave us a comment. This is probably why. Shogun got me on a Kurosawa fever, so I might pick up Throne of Blood. I have Ikiru also, which is a great Kurosawa movie, as well as High and Low. I really wish Criterion would come out with a box set for Kurosawa. That would be great.
Yeah.
Punkron said, my wife refuses to see long movies in IMAX after Oppenheimer. The IMAX theater doesn't have reclining seats. That is a long movie to watch, especially in IMAX. I think for me, the sensory input of all the sound and everything and the visuals, as much as I love that, I feel like my at-home experience is often a lot better.
Yeah.
Because I can take time, I can pause the movie, and I'm not sitting in a seat for 3 hours, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
we were just going to see it in standard definition.
Thank you, Clamp 20, for the kind words. We really appreciate it. We love doing these live streams too, and hopefully there's much more to come. Many more videos too on the channel coming this year. We're just having a lot of fun doing these, and I appreciate the kind words. So what were we looking at? Oh, you were looking at the...
I didn't know. The theater
There's
we were
no
going to
IMAX,
go
right?
to is just standard. I think
Standard.
there are IMAX theaters around here, but I don't think we've ever gone to them. And I think if we saw anything special, it was in 3D, which gives me migraine.
But so you think IMAX would give us a migraine probably too, right? I don't know.
I don't know because I haven't seen an IMAX movie. I don't know that I've seen a film in IMAX like at all.
They have like those nature films in IMAX, right?
Yeah, like I've seen
the
those,
big
like,
nature films.
Like I think it was at like a museum or something, and I saw a show in an IMAX theater. You know, like the aquarium or something like that. But I don't think I've seen like a cinematic film.
It just reminds me of the Sphere in Vegas, right? The Sphere,
it's similar to that,
which looks pretty cool, especially the nature films that they show there. And I think U2 is playing their last. I think they may be playing their last few shows there. But yeah, probably give it. You know, if you look at the Sphere 2 in Vegas, we were watching a video of this the other day of the rake of the seats.
Yeah.
You're sort of almost on a vertical. You know, you're sitting vertically watching this big screen, which is pretty crazy.
Because it like continues down like to the floor because you're like kind of in the middle of the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon is long. Yeah, that's a long movie, which we hadn't seen. I wonder if that's going to get. I think it has a Region B release. I thought, but I could be wrong on that. I'm hoping that gets a release at some point here in the U.S.
I don't know why, if they're going to make movies like 3 hours, why don't they just build in an intermission?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have your own intermission. You could go out and get popcorn in the middle of the movie if you want.
I mean, you could if you want, but then you're going to miss things.
You're going to miss
why don't
things,
they just do like a 15-minute break for the theater, and then when they have like the physical release, it's not like there's no intermission in the actual film. but like so
I
everybody
think
can
that's a good
pause
idea.
and like stand up and like
I think it's a good idea, but maybe it would take you out of the movie. But yeah, 3 hours and 26 minutes is a long movie. Region B at the moment for Killers of the Flower Moon, but I would love to get that. So I don't know. I feel like Dune Part 2 is at least what I've seen is 2 hours and 46 minutes.
yeah.
So I might be able to do that.
I mean, I think like we've done long films in the theater. It's just you have to be ready for it.
Why
And
was
I think-
why was I thinking it was IMAX?
Well, because one person we saw said to see it in IMAX.
Oh, just said to see it in IMAX.
and
That's
they
right.
said it was
Yeah.
really great, but then I don't know. Like we'd have to
Yeah.
go to the IMAX theater.
You would have to go. Yeah, exactly right. But there is one, right? You said
There is one. It's just not the theater we usually
not
go
the
to.
theater. Yeah. Well, we have plenty to do because if we go to the theater tomorrow to see it, and again, I'm being hopeful and optimistic that we might do that because it'll be a little bit warmer maybe than 28 degrees since we're going to take a walk in 28
Yeah.
degrees now. We can see the Barnes and Noble. We can see what's happening at the Barnes and Noble, which should be opening up. Maybe we can see
Next
them
week.
putting.
Yeah.
Well, we saw them. At least I saw on their Instagram that they were bringing in books. They
Yeah,
had like
the books got delivered.
they
Yeah.
had pallets of books,
Yeah.
which is pretty exciting, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they might not have the coming soon up. They might just have the let you window shop before you can come in and
Yeah,
actually shop.
which would be great. Yeah. So I wonder if we'll have to wait in line next week too. That'll be interesting to see.
I think it might be kind of like the Whole Foods where you're like, oh, it's not going to be a big deal. And then when the Whole Foods opened, there was like a line around the building at like 5:30 in the morning. So I don't know. There might be way more people excited about
There's
the
going to be
store.
author events there too. So that's something that is probably going to be a draw for the opening. There's a couple
Yeah,
of
it's like
author
the whole
events that.
weekend. There's offers
Yeah.
there like every day for like the first 4
Yeah.
or 5 days. Yeah.
Sophie said on Amazon UK you can still rent Killers of the Flower Moon. I would, of course, I love Scorsese. I'd love to see that, but I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to have to wait for it.
Or you just have to get like Apple TV Plus for like a month.
All these streaming services we're going to have to get for a month. We have to
Yeah.
watch Elsbeth for Paramount Plus. Then we have to watch
Yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon for a month.
We're gonna have to start making like wish lists for each app, and then when we have enough shows for a month, then we can get it for like 1 month, and then just watch it all.
Watch it
and then
all.
That's it.
But I can't watch Star Trek: The Next Generation in a month because that's the other thing.
Yeah, but you could like if you get like invested, then obviously we could get more than 1 month.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, there's new Survivor seasons we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, there's plenty to watch there. Yeah, but also I'm interested to see what happens with Warner Brothers and Paramount because there's lots of discussion about a deal there, and of course, all the Star Trek movies, the original Star Trek movies, have moved over to Max. So I'm glad we have Max, but I feel
Wait,
bad
wasn't-
for people that have Paramount Plus
Wasn't
because
there
they couldn't
talk
get.
that like Paramount Plus and Max were gonna merge?
Well,
or
that's
something?
part of it, right? That's
Yeah.
part of the Warner Brothers deal, right?
But then it was
Potentially.
confusing us because then ABC, no, not ABC, then CBS and NBC, no, that's Peacock. There was like, it seemed like there was talk that like then 2 like OG networks would be on one streaming service, which seemed a little strange.
I don't know, but I mean, I feel bad if you have Paramount Plus. I know there's other shows there too, but if a lot of those shows might move over to Max, who knows, right? We're not really sure, but but anyway, we've got a lot to do. We have a lot to do.
Yeah, we gotta go watch Dune now.
We have to watch Dune. We're gonna have to watch Dune now, and then maybe go see Dune Part 2. Dune Part. Does it say Part 1 on here? See, this just says Dune, and then the other one says Part 2. So it's not like Empire Strikes Back, right? It doesn't, it's not like
Maybe they
it has a
weren't
different
sure.
name for the movie.
They
Oh,
weren't
maybe they weren't
sure.
sure if they're going to get another one, right?
But then the way this
Yeah.
one ends, like they were pretty sure.
See, I'm glad you mentioned we have to rewatch this because I forgot how it ends, and so I have to
Wait,
watch
how long
the
is
other.
this movie?
This movie that one's pretty long. I don't know if it has the thing on there, but
155 minutes.
155 minutes.
What is that, like 2.5 hours?
Yeah, it's a long
2
time.
hours and 35 minutes?
It's a long time,
Oh my goodness.
but maybe we'll be excited to see that. Anyway, I love it that we have a different world that we can explore. With
Yeah,
Dune.
plus then we can buddy read the books.
Well, I'm still reading Jaws. I don't know. I have to finish Jaws first.
Yeah, but you're gonna.
And then I'm going to
finish
watch
Jaws.
the movie early. I feel like with all of these things, with Jaws
No,
and
but
also
I'm saying,
Walking
like,
Dead,
Like next, you could.
I could read Dune next. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot more we can pick up after rewatching it too. Yeah, that's true. I just want to have all the information I need to go into it because we watched it a couple of years ago, right? And then of course the movie was delayed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I really feel like there's spring summer vibes happening. Hopefully we'll have a little bit, the weather will be a little bit warmer with reading Jaws and watching. I'm since I'm reading a summer book and then watching Walking Dead, I feel like we'll be done with Walking Dead by the middle of the summer probably. Is it in IMAX?
No, but we can go see Killers of the Flower Moon in the theater
Oh, we can still?
next week.
Is it at the? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, is it at our theater there, or is it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
We can see it on March 3rd.
But again, it's 3 hours, and it's over 3 hours. Does it say on there if it's over 3 hours?
I don't know, but it's $6 a person. So
really? So maybe we'll have to go see Killers of the Flower Moon next week too.
It's this BP24. I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
It's part of the BP24 thing. You can also see Poor Things. You can see.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Past Lives, Maestro. Maybe because it's like pre-Oscars.
Lisa Frankenstein. Is that
not yet?
Is that what's called, Lisa Frankenstein?
Lisa Frankenstein. Yeah.
Anyway, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We love doing these, and more office hours to come. So if you said Amazon UK, definitely have it, but won't let you rent it, just buy. We might be able to see.
It's BP24 is Best Picture 24. So
Best Picture. So because of the Best Picture.
The Best Picture options, like The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Poor Things, Anatomy of the Fall in French.
We'll have to do that because
Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Barbie, Maestro. American Fiction. You
Best
can see
Picture.
all of those for $5.
For $5.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to do. I'm glad you checked that out.
For $5, but you can see each of them for $5.
For $5 each. Yeah. Wow, that's great. Maybe we'll have to do that, right? Because of course
it's only next week before the Oscars.
Before the Oscars, because the Oscars are the 10th of March, I think. I could be wrong on that, but Modesty said just bought One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is a great movie from eBay. I can't believe it wasn't in our collection. I think we have the DVD for that, the collector's edition. That's one that should get a Blu-ray if it doesn't already have one. The Jack Nicholson Trip. I love Five Easy Pieces, but I also like About Schmidt, and also what was that one I was watching recently that I thought he got an Oscar nomination for? I can't think of it now, but it's the one with Greg Kinnear and As Good as It Gets.
Yeah.
As Good as It Gets.
Dog.
Yeah, with the little dog, yeah. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We're having a blast doing these, and we will be back very soon. We're trying to do these on Thursday, right before the weekend, so you can hopefully have a few smiles and laughs before you go into your weekend. And usually in the middle of the day around lunch. I know it's around lunchtime on the East Coast, and starting of the morning on the West Coast, and I think in the UK, of course, later in the evening. So hopefully this is a good time. That is a great deal for the Oscar stuff, the Oscar movie stuff. I think we're going to have to do that. Maybe we'll do that. We have to see a couple of things. I would like to see Poor Things also.
Yeah,
I think that would be good to see.
Yeah.
So thanks to everyone, and we will talk with you soon. We'll be back next week at the same time to do some more office hours, and hope you have a great rest of the week and an amazing weekend. Thanks, everyone.